This podcast has been brought to you by Ice Spice's Wig. Hi everyone, I'm Gianni,
And I'm Melanie.
and we are your two hosts for our brand new podcast,
Pop it like it's hot.
Yay! I'm so excited that we're finally doing this. It's been a long time coming.
We've been talking about doing this for I think about a year, and then we finally are doing it.
It's been quite a while, hasn't it?
It has.
Well, in this podcast, we'll be talking about all things pop culture, and we have a lot of things to talk about today. So I think we should get started because we have a lot to discuss.
Yes.
What's first on our list today, Melanie?
Okay. First, I think we should talk about. Do you want to start talking about USHER first, or do you want to do?
Yeah, let's talk about USHER.
Let's talk about USHER.
Recently, we found out, and I'm sure if you guys don't know, now you'll know, he will be headlining the Super Bowl next year. And I have some thoughts about that.
Mhm.
I was imagining it was going to be somebody else because there were a lot of rumors about who it would be. Usher was definitely not on my list. I don't hate him, but I don't love him either.
Yeah.
I'm trying to say that his music is good, but I don't know if he's Super Bowl good. I guess we have to give him a little chance here. But what do you think? I think that I think that he's not gonna. I guess my expectations are low. But I want to hear what you have to say.
So I feel like I know the reason why they chose Usher. So if you didn't know, this Super Bowl is gonna be in Las Vegas. He has a residency currently in Las Vegas. So
Oh,
what
okay.
I think this is a marketing strategy. So I feel like they're hyping. They want Usher to perform. So people, when they see him perform and then they like the performance, they're like, "Oh my god, now I want to see Usher!" Like
Yeah.
little throwback R&B. Well, he has a residency at Las Vegas, so why don't you go to Las Vegas and see him there? You know, I
That's
feel
a
like
good theory.
I feel like this is sort of a marketing strategy because basically everyone else that has a residency currently in Las Vegas has already performed at the Super Bowl. Lady Gaga, Katy Perry, Adele has one right now.
Right.
But like obviously she's like an iconic singer, you know what I mean? But is it Super Bowl? No.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
And this is funny because we were just together in Las Vegas last month, not too long ago, to celebrate your birthday. And I did see, like, when we were in Caesar's Palace, that Adele was having her residency there.
Yeah.
So I think you're onto something there.
Yeah. I honestly like. Well, I mean, like, you know, me and you, we were basically like kids during, well, I think Usher was at his peak. So I
Right.
think, you know, me and you are like probably like, you know, not my number one choice.
Right.
But I think someone like probably like maybe in their 30s are probably like geeking it out, saying like, oh my God, Usher, all this. But, you know, I mean,
Yeah.
you never know. Maybe he'll deliver, but.
Yeah, and that's why I think ultimately, I'm just gonna give him a chance. There are songs that he has put out there that are very well known and that I do like. But ultimately, I guess we'll just have to give him the benefit of the doubt and maybe he'll slay.
Maybe he'll slay.
It's funny because earlier you were talking about Katy Perry, and if you guys aren't on TikTok, her Harleys and Hawaii's, excuse me, meme is all over the place, and they're so funny. I like repost every which one, and they're just so funny to me. And then I think she caught on to the trends, and she did a performance in the bathroom, which I did not approve of. I mean, it was not a slay.
It was not a slay.
I don't know if you've seen it, but essentially she's like in this pretty blue dress, and then there's like a whole orchestra like around her, and they're in a bathroom of all places. I just think that that's funny.
I haven't seen it, but I want to see it now. You just told me this right now, so I don't know. I haven't seen it.
Well, after this, we'll definitely show you the video, and I think next time we want to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so what else do we have to talk about today? There's a lot more. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce.
Oh,
let's talk about that.
Okay, so I'll take the lead on this one. So you're not really familiar on the whole thing. You obviously you've seen the news that like they're basically kind of an item right now,
Right.
but you told me earlier that you don't know much, so I'm gonna tell you a little. I'm gonna
Yes.
skim through. I don't have the exact dates, but I could tell you the timeline of how things started.
Hey,
So this
girl,
is
that's all I need.
so this is like been going on for like a couple of months, like subliminally. Uh,
I know what you meant.
yeah. So it's been happening. So here's how it went down. So obviously earlier this year, Taylor was in her Eras tour,
Mhm.
iconic Eras tour, and in one of her shows, Travis Kelsey went. Nothing wrong there. Um, and I guess he was asked, and I think it was one of his podcasts that he is with his brother, who's also an NFL player, or he was like a guest at one of another podcast. So they asked him like, "Oh, we saw that you went to the Taylor Swift concert," and he said, "Yeah." But what really made the news was because he was like, "I wanted to give her a bracelet, but she can't talk after her show to save her voice for the next shows." And they're like, "Oh, that's cute." He's like, "Yeah, I put my number on it." So I guess trying to flirt, and then that's what made headlines. They're like, "Oh, is Travis Kelsey trying to get with Taylor Swift?"
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So,
I
I,
didn't realize that that's how they met.
well, that's not how they met, but that's
Oh,
how it kind of started in the internet. Like, oh, Travis kind like has a thing for Taylor.
I see. I
But
see.
honestly, in my opinion, when I first heard that, I was like, okay, like it's probably just like he's just trying to get like a little bit of media attention because obviously Taylor was like a hot topic this year,
Right.
in the eras and all that. So he probably just want to be like, yo, Taylor, like I like Taylor, you know what I mean? And then I was just like, okay, whatever. So here and there, like in his interviews, there's like trickling around that like he likes Taylor, but he doesn't talk. But I think what people like is that he doesn't talk about Taylor in like kind of like in a, how do I explain, like in a, he talks about her respectfully,
I see.
like that he shows interest, but he shows it respectfully. He doesn't say like, "Oh yeah, Taylor's hot. Taylor's hot." you know, like
Yeah.
he's more like, there was this one interview where they were playing, I think it was that one game Kiss, Marry or Kill, and
Oh,
he said he
yeah.
would marry Taylor. So it was
Oh,
respectful. Like he doesn't like disrespect her or anything. So so it's been shown that like he kind of likes Taylor, but Taylor hasn't really said anything. Well, I guess because she's like well, like I don't know. Anyways,
I feel like Taylor is the kind of person that is like, she can be really like out there in public with her life, but
yeah,
also she's very reserved at the same time. And she's so
exactly.
good at doing that.
Yeah, exactly.
Like we really don't know. We have all
Right.
these theories, but we really don't know like what's really going on in her life.
Right, exactly. So I was just like, is she seeing all this, or is she's probably just like, oh, it's just like, I don't know, just some guy trying to use my name for attention. Which
Yeah.
honestly, that's what I was thinking at first.
Mhm.
I was like, oh, this guy's probably just using Taylor's name to get attention or something. Which
Right.
I'm not like a hater on that, but like I don't know. I was just like, it kind of like I was like, all right, this is weird you know but recently, I don't know if you, I'm pretty sure you've seen it because it was like all over like the internet and everything.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift was actually seen at one of his games with
Yes.
his
With his
family.
family.
Yeah,
She was like next to Travis's mother.
yeah, her mother. Yeah, like what, like this is like now things are like okay, so something's actually really going
Yeah, yeah,
on,
for sure. For sure.
you know and not only that, but after the game they were seen walking out together and getting away in their getaway
Mm,
car.
mm, mm. Sounds like
Mhm.
they're together, if you ask
Yeah.
me. Well, this is exciting because I know Taylor has been through a lot, and I know she's had, previous relationships. I think she broke up with Joe Alwyn. Was it this year?
Who?
Joe Alwyn was
Oh
her
yeah, I think it was like right at the
ex.
beginning of the Eras tour.
Yeah, so that's
It
gotta
was like,
suck.
yeah, it was like right at the beginning.
I'm sure she was probably like heartbroken.
But then remember that she had like the kind of like fling with Maddie Healy.
Right in
Yeah.
between when she broke up with Joe and then right
Yeah.
before
So
Travis.
so do you think that was like PR, or do you think they actually like were like a thing?
I think it was just like a fun like temporary fling. I think
Yeah.
they tried it and it just didn't work out.
Yeah. Honestly, I think it was PR.
I mean, it could be too, you never know.
Yeah.
It's just so funny how much we actually don't know.
Yeah.
So we're just kind of forced to come up with all these theories about what
Right.
really happened.
Yeah, I don't know. My opinion, I was like, mm,
Oh my gosh.
it
That's a
seemed,
lot.
yeah.
And then I heard something. I feel like I live in a bubble, but in regards to the Taylor and Travis situation, something about Travis's ex.
Yeah, so it's actually it actually came out I think like yesterday or a couple days ago.
Yeah,
Like this
pretty
is pretty
recently.
recent. Yeah.
Hmm.
That one of I'm gonna do quotation marks. His ex. They call him his ex, but I'm saying his ex because um she came out saying once a cheater, always a cheater. So the story
Mm.
behind that is that they dated in 2016. But they met in a dating reality show called Catching Kelsey.
Oh, I see.
So it's kind of like The Bachelor, and a group of girls are trying to like win Kelsey's heart. So and like those kind of shows, like I like them. They're entertaining, but are they like is it 100% real? I
Probably
hope,
not.
yeah. So she came out in an interview just talking about how he wasn't really a faithful guy, all this stuff. And in my head, I was like, well, yeah, he was in a dating show. He was like probably kissing every girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, are you surprised? No. Um, but all this came out, and so she also later said that because of doing this interview, a lot of Swifties are giving her death threats, like telling her really mean things, and
Oh
she's
my
saying that
gosh.
the fan base is just very toxic and very like mean, and Taylor should really do something about this and blah blah blah. But then another contestant came out. This I saw this before we started. I haven't really looked into it, but I
Yeah.
could look into it in a bit. But another contestant came out that was with her during that show and just said she's just a fat liar.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
This is so interesting to me because I feel like there's so much going on under my nose. Like I said earlier, I feel like I'm just living in a bubble. Oh my gosh, but this is kind of crazy. And I
Yeah.
feel like all of it is just happening so fast. But I feel like that's
Mhm.
kind of like what you're signing up for as a celebrity, which sucks.
Yeah.
Because it kind of affects you at every level. Um, but I did hear about these death threats.
But so in your like little question. So Taylor Swift, like she's known for writing songs about her ex, and
Yes.
you know how strong the fan base is, and they're like they feel like they're so connected with Taylor. Like remember when she came out with Red's Taylor version and the All Too Well 10-minute version came out,
Yeah.
basically bashing like she didn't fully say it was Jake Gyllenhaal, but people can infer it was about Jake Gyllenhaal,
Mm,
and that during that time the fan base just went ham on him. Just
I
do
bet
you
they did.
remember?
I do remember this
They
now.
were just going crazy
I
on Jake
remember this.
Gyllenhaal.
It was
So
crazy.
yeah. So do you like I don't know. Do you think if this like somehow this ends, which I don't know, hopefully not, like she finds her person, you know what I mean?
Right.
Do you think if this ends, she's gonna end up like kind of subliminally saying what's going on and people are just gonna trash on him? Or what do you think?
I really hope that that's not the case. I really hope that this is going to be a long lasting relationship one. And I hope that her fan base kind of takes a chill pill. I
Yeah.
mean, I see the comments on Twitter, they are quite nasty. And some of them, they're quite sweet. But I do think that there's something good here.
Yeah.
It just needs time.
Yeah.
And the public needs to back off.
Right. I feel like throughout all her career, she like they became the stereotypical like she breaks up with the next, she writes a song about them, she breaks up with the next, write a song.
Right.
And I feel like I feel like it must feel hard for her, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like now she can't really date guys because they're probably like no, because you're gonna write a song about me, you're gonna do this and
Right.
stuff. But I feel like it's also like kind of a big move of Travis to like be like, no, I want to like get to know you. You know what I mean? And I feel like he should know like the risk he's taking, be like based on like how huge Taylor is. You know what
Right.
I mean?
And he's pretty huge himself, being an athlete.
Yeah, and he's
I
one of
think,
the well-known athletes too. Yeah.
yes, that was my next point. He's very well known. And I think that was kind of going back to her relationship with Joel Alwyn. I think that's kind of why their relationship, or rumors had it that that's kind of why they broke apart, because he wanted out of that. He
Yeah.
felt like he was too much in the spotlight, and
Yeah.
he didn't want that.
Right. Right. Right.
So I think it's very interesting. I think you need someone when you are someone in the position of like Taylor and Travis to have a partner who is at that same level,
Right. Right. Right.
because you guys will get it, you'll get each other. I feel like it makes for a healthier relationship because you guys can essentially relate to so many things on a certain level.
Right. Right. Right.
Well, I think that's enough about Taylor and Travis. Like I said, we have a lot of topics to talk about today. I think I wanted to take this onto Pink Pantheress' new single,
Oh yes.
Mosquitoes.
Yes.
Now, I didn't hear all of it.
Uh huh.
I did hear a couple clips this morning,
Right.
and I was not a fan. I love
Okay.
Pink Pantheress.
Uh huh.
I especially love her collaboration with Ice Spice,
Yeah.
Boy's a Liar.
Yeah.
Um, and I think she's a great artist,
Mhm.
but I was not feeling this single. I think
Okay.
maybe it just needs time to grow on me, but I
Mhm.
know she uses a lot of auto tune, or at least from what I can gather and assume.
Mhm.
Um, and I just don't like when artists do that, because I want to be able to hear their raw talent. And
Right.
I think that speaks more to an artist's like authenticity. Not saying that Pink Panthers isn't. She's a strong, independent woman with a lot of potential, and she's put out a lot of good work in the past couple years.
Mhm.
But I guess you win some and you lose some, and I feel like Mosquito was definitely a loss. But I don't know
Uh-huh.
if you've heard it yet.
I have not.
I'll play it for you after today,
Okay.
but it just wasn't my favorite. And I
Okay.
know this is kind of a point where she'll probably like learn from that and learn what, sticks and what doesn't, because
Mhm.
she's such a, new artist to the scene.
Mhm.
But I really like her, and I'm looking forward to her upcoming work.
Okay. Well, I haven't heard her music really. Obviously, the only song that I know from her is her feature in the Ice Spice song,
Right.
or it was her song and Ice Spice featured in it, right?
Yeah, it was Pink Panther's song, and then she had Ice Spice hop on the remix.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the only song I really know from her. But I see on TikTok that she is growing. So I was like,
Yeah,
okay, good for her. Like, I like her aesthetic. Like she reminds me of a Bratz doll.
she does.
She writes, and I think it's really
Yeah,
cute, and I like the aesthetic. And so I thought, okay, like, I thought she was gonna be as big as Ice Spice at this
right,
point, like because they came out together.
right,
So I honestly thought they were both like gonna be huge in their own way.
right.
But obviously, Ice Spice right now, she's huge. Currently, one of the bigger new artists coming out.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, and I haven't heard much from Pink Panthers. Um, but I've seen TikToks. I don't know if you've seen them come up in your For You page. I've actually seen TikToks of Pink Panthers doing like live performances,
Hmm. Yeah,
and
I've seen some of them.
yeah,
They're not my favorite.
yeah. Unfortunately, like I think she needs some working on her like her live performance. It looks like she's shy. I mean, like, who am I to talk? Like, I would be shy
Right.
too if I was like
Exactly.
starting up. But if you're coming up and coming, I think that you should be doing like some training, like you know what I mean, like what to do. It kind of looks like she's like improvising, like on the spot.
Yeah.
Even with the DJ, she like I remember there was one like the DJ was playing like the wrong song. She's like, "No, that's not the song."
I think I remember that video on
Yeah.
Twitter.
And then like during the performance, she was holding her purse, like, and she's like, "I'm just gonna sing real quick. I'm gonna sing real quick, and I'm about to go. I have to go. I have a plane to catch." You know, and it's just like, why are you holding a bag while you're performing? No, you know what I mean?
Right.
It doesn't look. It looks weird in my opinion. You know?
I totally agree with you, and I think part of that has to do with their label. I know she signed to a label, I think, out in the UK, and I
Okay.
know, of course, Ice Spice is signed into a label, to my knowledge, that's based here in the US. And I know their strategies are probably very different. Clearly, I think that's why even Ice Spice is rose to the top of best new artists right now. I mean, I think that's kind of the label, or the artist's label, excuse me, pushing that specific artist to do, a lot of interviews, more music, more collaborations. I mean, Ice Spice did a collaboration with Nicki. She did two. I know one of them was Barbie World, and then the other
Mhm.
was, oh my gosh, I'm drawing a blank here. Oh my gosh, what was the other single?
Hold
It's
on a
like
second.
bothering me now.
Hold on.
Oh, it was Princess Diana. It was
Yes.
a remix.
Uh-huh.
And I just think that her label has done a lot better job than Pink Pantheress' label to kind
Mhm.
of push her
Mhm.
to where she needs to be. I feel like artists, um, especially with the use of social media now, get this like momentum, and I
Yeah.
think that's the time that an artist should use, and their label, of course, use that point to launch the artist even further. Like you got to act on the momentum before it dies out. I
Right.
think that's kind of for other pop artists, for example, like Ava Max. I love her to death. I know we saw her in June.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
Her label did not do that, and it kind of like backfired.
Yeah.
Like she had that sweet but psycho moment in 2018, but then it kind of
Mhm.
fizzled out.
Yeah.
And then she
It
came out with music literally 2 years later, and of course that was during the pandemic.
right.
So the whole world was on fire.
Right.
It felt like the whole world was ending, but it's just interesting. It's interesting
Mhm.
how pop culture is, and how um, labels today kind of manage their artists. Some better
Yeah.
than others,
Yeah. For sure. For sure. For sure.
for sure. Um, all right, so moving on, there was another topic that was kind of burning um, on the top of my head here. Little Tay. Oh my gosh.
Oh
There's so
yeah.
much to
I
uncover.
feel like you're invested in this story.
I think I'm a lot more invested in this story compared to Taylor and Travis's story. So,
Yeah.
a couple months ago, I think now, Little Tay Instagram, I think, was hacked, and they were basically saying that she was dead.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, like, of course, I'm
How did
feeding
you
into this.
feel?
I felt so bad because, I mean, this girl's very young,
Yeah.
and I feel like she's just been nothing but exploited,
Right.
and we don't really know the true Little
Yeah.
Tay.
Right.
And when I saw that, I was kind of devastated. Like, I'm like, this has to be a joke. And
Mhm.
thankfully it was.
Yeah, it was a
Um,
fed joke.
I mean, it was pretty effed.
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell? Anyways, Little Tay kind of came back to the scene with a music video.
Uh huh.
She looks, of course, older because she's getting older. Um,
Mhm.
she has a whole different tune.
Mhm.
And I mean, I guess we'll have to give her a chance like Usher,
Right.
but I don't know, I wasn't a fan. And obviously, I don't think,
I feel like it's like very poor taste
yeah,
that like you know, I believe the story that she was hacked and someone like faked her death
yeah.
without her knowledge or like, you know, um but with this music video coming out, I feel like it was definitely planned,
Oh,
which I feel like
yes.
is more messed up.
Like a
Um
PR stunt.
yeah,
Of course.
exactly. And I remember she I don't know if you saw it, but like she claimed that it was her dad that made that post. And apparently
Mm,
like her
yeah.
dad and her mom has been like doing a custody battle. Like the dad's trying to take custody from the mom because the mom is the one that's doing all this basically exploiting the daughter.
Yeah.
He's claiming that it's all the mom and he doesn't want that. This has been going on for years, but I think right
Right.
now currently the mom just has custody. I don't think she has a very healthy relationship with the dad. But
Yeah,
it's a sad situation.
it
So
really is.
do you so I'm so confused on this. So I don't know if you know. So they claim that her brother is also dead. Is that true or is that also a hoax?
I'm pretty sure that that was a hoax as well. I'm pretty
Oh
sure they were
wow.
both found to be alive and well. But it's just so interesting. I feel like this whole situation because I feel like there's a lot of cooks in the kitchen, if you will, her parents included.
Yeah.
And I feel like they both have a responsibility, to be good parents. And I mean, of course, I don't know the whole tea.
Right,
I don't
right.
know what's really going on,
Right.
but
Right.
there's a lot of exploitation, especially towards little Tay. And I'm like, that is just so messed up. She's just a little girl.
Yeah.
She didn't ask for any of that.
Right.
And yet all this is happening. It's almost like they're just forcing her to do all these things and
Mhm.
she probably doesn't want to.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad. I don't
It
know.
is. Yeah.
And then like I said earlier, she came out with this music video. I did not see the whole thing. Again, I saw clips earlier this morning as well. But not a fan. Definitely I noticed autotune was used.
Mhm.
And but that's beside the point. I just think that that entire family needs one giant therapy session.
Yep.
I think that's needed
Yep.
because there's clearly a lot of love that's just not there.
Mm.
And it's just kind of sad. I
Very.
think um, it takes people with loving relationships, like, for example, our friendship. I feel like
Mhm.
sometimes I take that for granted because I know that other people out there don't have that.
Yeah.
And it's really sad.
Yeah.
Um, but I hope that things, get to where they need to be.
Uh-huh.
And I hope that little Tay in the end will be all right.
Yep. Period.
Very cool. Oh my gosh. So there was another topic I really wanted to get into, and this
Uh-huh.
was the new American Horror Story
Oh,
season.
yes, 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 yes.
So they casted Kim Kardashian, and she plays a publicist
Mhm.
alongside Emma Roberts. And let me tell you, I watched the both episodes that are currently on the air now. I
Mhm.
think half of the season is going to be on pause because of that recent strike with the actors.
Oh.
But I think just this past week that strike
It
it
was.
was concluded. So we'll
I also
probably be seeing that soon.
Speaking of the strike, once we're done, I want to mention something a little off topic, but the strike reminded me of something. So,
Oh yes.
okay. But continue, please.
Yeah,
Thank you.
so basically I was just going to say that I loved Kim's acting. I feel like since she's in the spotlight and she's probably grown up around tons of publicists. I feel like this was a really good role for her.
Mhm.
Um I I'll be honest, I had low expectations for her acting.
Yeah.
But I really liked her performance in these two episodes. She
Mhm.
really ate that up. And of course, Emma Roberts is a series regular. I love the American Horror Story franchise, but
Mhm.
some of the seasons, especially some of the newer ones, they kind of sucked. I'm just gonna be kind of blunt on that.
Yeah.
Definitely like American Horror Story Coven and Murder House were probably the best two. Oh, and
Okay.
Asylum. They were like literally the first three seasons to
Yeah.
ever
My
air.
favorite, I think, were Freak Show.
Freak Show's good.
Yeah, Freak Show was a good one. And there was one that I actually rewatched. Hotel, the hotel
Hotel
one.
with Lady Gaga,
Yeah,
right? Yeah,
Lady Gaga, of
she ate
course.
that up.
Yeah, she did. She ate that up.
I feel like that's kind of like the point I was trying to get at. I feel like
Mhm.
these are the kind of people that, like, if you want to cast, get
Mhm.
them a role that they would slay.
Right.
Like Kim being a publicist, okay, that's great. It actually made sense, and she ate that
Mhm.
up.
Mhm.
Lady
Yeah.
Gaga, she gives like that horror vibe.
The horror villain.
Yeah,
I know, like I think they were trying to portray her as a villain, but honestly, I was like rooting for her the whole
yeah.
season.
Oh,
You
she
know
had
what I
the
mean?
best character in the
Yeah,
show.
she did. She really did.
Yeah. I love that. I love that season too.
Yeah.
I forgot about Hotel. I'm gonna have to probably like watch that now that spooky season is upon us.
Oh yes, yes.
Oh my gosh. And then this is kind of old news, but Emma Roberts had like a transphobic situation with one of the castmates, Angelica Ross. I think this was like a previous season that this
Mhm.
took place. Basically, Emma said jokingly that Angelica is not a lady. Um
Oh.
So that caused some issues on social media. I think Angelica Ross, excuse me, took this to an Instagram live where she explained the situation that happened.
Mhm.
And I think Emma did call her either that night or the morning after to call and apologize. So
Mhm.
um, it seems that that situation was taken care of and things are okay now, quote unquote. But of course, it's gotta leave a sour taste in Angelica's mouth, I would imagine.
Yeah, I mean, like, even if you apologize, it's still like you said that in confidence, so you know what I mean?
Yeah. And especially like in front of other cast members, I could only imagine like how Angelica would feel.
Right, exactly.
Oh, well, going back, you said you were going to mention something because we were talking about American Horror Story and the actors strike. And you
Y-
said that kind of turned a light bulb in your head.
Yeah, because I forgot. I saw this recently, and I thought it was so great. Not well, I was just like, wow, like how you
Mm-hmm.
feel. So obviously, there is a huge strike, for writers and actors.
Right.
Uh, and because of this, because it lasted for like months, it seems like.
Yes, it was a long time.
Yeah, there's now gonna be like huge delays on like TV
Right.
shows, movies and all that. And I think what was really getting like hit hard were like the daytime and the nighttime shows,
Yeah.
like with Jimmy Fallon and all
Mm-hmm.
those kind of late night shows or whatever. So, um, what was nice at least was that the late night show hosts, like, they all kind of came together. I think it was both Jimmys, Seth Meyers, they all came together and made like a temporary podcast, with each other, and the profits were actually going to go towards their staff members.
I did hear something about
Yeah,
that.
so
That's
that,
so
like,
nice.
yeah, I thought it was a sweet gesture, because,
Yeah,
like, obviously, it's out of their hands, and obviously these people need to make a living wage.
of course.
So I thought it was a nice gesture. So there's those hosts. But I don't know if you know, but Drew Barrymore has her own daytime show.
Yes,
I don't
right.
know if you heard it, but I don't watch it, but I've seen clips of it. Which, let me say, it's kind of off topic. I'm gonna go off topic again. I see her do her interviews with some people, it just seems so funny that, like, in regular, like, interviews, you see them like kind of like a good distance,
Mhm.
um from um the guest, and they're talking, whatever. Like, this looks like a more formal interview. Drew Barrymore's goes on her crisscross applesauce and gets close with these people and like touchy.
She gets up close and
She
personal.
gets really up close and personal with those people. So I don't know. It's like maybe she talks to them at a personal level, so she feels more comfortable like doing that with them. But because I saw that she was doing this to Brooke Shields, so I was like, maybe they're close friends, and she's comfortable enough to do that. But I'm like,
Mm.
if that's their, like, if they don't know each other like that, that's kind of weird, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're just like strangers
yeah,
essentially. Yeah.
yeah. And she's
That is
over
kind of
here
weird.
like, oh my god. But that's not the point. Sorry, I keep going off topic here,
Hey, that's
but
okay. It's our podcast.
right, but it turns out that Drew Barrymore actually told her staff, like, we're going back to work.
Oh,
Strike,
really?
yeah, during the strike, we're going back to work, and this caused a huge controversy, because it's like, Drew, like, they're trying to, like, you know they're on strike.
Oh my God.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean? They're trying to, like, fight for a living wage. Trying to fight for their jobs, and you're
Right.
gonna make them work. And
Right.
so she got a lot of crap for that.
Oh, I would imagine.
And
Oh my gosh.
the joke's on her, because if only she waited a week later, the strike would have ended. I mean, the strike have ended. But
Oh wow. So it happened like literally a week before this was
right.
all over.
Yeah, and if she just waited a week, none of this would have happened. But
Right.
now she just ruined her reputation of just looking like a complete douchebag and making her workers work and while they're trying to be on strike.
Yeah, it's definitely not a good look for Drew.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's so crazy.
Mhm.
I don't know how I did not know about that.
Yeah, it just that just popped up in my head right now. Right when we were discussing when you mentioned strike, I was like, "Oh,
I love how one thing just leads to another. I
yeah,
just love our podcast.
I love that."
Oh my gosh. I think I hit all the specific topics that I wanted to discuss.
Mhm.
Do you have anything?
Let me think.
I'm sure there's something we
Oh,
can
I
discuss.
want to talk. I want to hear your thoughts.
Hmm.
Um, this has been going on for a couple months, and I know you're a huge Ariana Grande stan.
Oh my gosh. I know where this is going.
So I need to know, how do you feel about your new stepdad?
Okay. Not good, to put
Mhm.
it bluntly.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you guys know about this. I'm sure you do because this has been out for a couple of months. Ariana and Dalton, they divorced and they got married on my birthday. So that I thought that was gonna be like set in stone, but of course, some people just fall out of love and they divorced. To our surprise, in
Mhm.
January, nobody really knew. They were
Yeah.
pretty good at keeping that on the low.
Yeah.
But when you're a celebrity, you have that kind of power. I can get why you can get that past everybody's nose.
Right.
So that's exactly what happened. And then I think Ariana was then seen with Ethan Slater, who's a Broadway actor, I
Broadway
believe.
actor,
And
and
I
also
think,
they're co-stars in the up and coming Wizards of Oz movie,
oh, and
and
Wicked.
that's how they met
Oh,
too.
okay. Well, that
Wicked, yes.
that makes a lot of sense. I can't
Mhm.
wait to see that next year. By the way,
Yeah.
that's off topic, but I love Ariana Grande. She is literally like my number one diehard celebrity like fan. I love her music. She's a really good artist and she's very talented. But then she was, seen with Ethan Slater, who apparently was in a relationship at the time,
Married
and he was married,
with
right,
a new
with
son.
a newborn son. That's correct. And people were calling Ariana out for being a homewrecker,
Yeah.
and Ethan for, of course, cheating. And
Both of them are
it's
getting bashed.
both of them are
One way
getting
to.
bashed. It's a really messy situation, but then I feel like
Mhm.
things have turned into crickets.
Well, that's how it is at first.
Yeah.
But so when all of this started, um, getting fired up, and then the whole internet was going crazy, like what, all this stuff. There was an insider scoop that Ariana was like, you know what, I'm just gonna give you space and just deal with your wife for now. And so a lot of people were kind of bashing him, saying like, "Look at you! You ruined your marriage. You risked everything for like, um, you risked your family, and just for your mistress to just, say, give you, I'm gonna give you space. I'm gonna give you space." So everyone thought that Ariana kind of basically was like, I don't think this is what I want,
Yeah.
and they thought, Ethan really risked his whole family, and Ariana probably was just like, I just wanted a fling, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? But I think it was like last week they were spotted together at Disneyland,
I
and they were,
did see that.
yeah, and they were being very affectionate. So
Showing some PDA.
yeah, so yeah,
I think it's just crazy to me, um, how that whole situation came to be.
mhm,
Very wrong.
mhm,
I love Ariana, but if this is truly like what happened, um, I think things need to be fixed and corrected in the right
mhm,
way.
yeah.
Um, it's just crazy to me. Like I was like, is this even Ariana? Like, who is she?
Not the sweetener, I know.
This is definitely not giving sweetener vibes. No, but seriously, I just think that whole situation is bonkers, and it almost feels like I said earlier, we're hearing crickets about it now.
Yeah,
It feels like just the world was talking about it, and now we kind of just like turned a blind eye and moved on from it.
yeah.
But like you said, that's how it is.
Do you think they'll slowly like go public on their relationship, or do you think they're just gonna have to be private for now on?
That's a good question because I feel like Ariana, similar to what we were saying about Taylor earlier, she has that power to make things private.
Yeah.
I have a feeling she's going to want to keep it private.
I mean, she did a good job keeping her marriage private.
Yeah, with
Yeah,
Dalton. And I think they
Dalton.
lasted what, like 3 years? They got right
2
married?
years,
Or
I
two,
think it
3 years,
was.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
I feel like these stories about celebrities nowadays, they're just crazy and there's
Hmm.
just so much we don't really know.
Yeah.
So we're forced to, like I said earlier, kind of speculate and assume things and come up with all
Right.
these theories, which some I feel like ought to end up being true.
Hmm.
But if that's really what happened here, like that's really messed up.
Yeah.
Like, and you gotta act like the grown up you are. You gotta put your big pants on and you know handle it like a normal adult would,
Hmm.
because there's just so many things that is wrong with that specific situation.
Yeah.
I want to know your thoughts about that though.
I was shocked
Yeah.
when I saw the headline because I was like, no, that has to be a meme. I honestly
Yeah.
thought it was like a meme,
Yeah,
like
me
a
too.
joke. So, but then it started coming out more and more, and I was like, Sponge, like, and then like he's known in the Broadway community as like SpongeBob SquarePants. I was like, girl, girl, no. Like, I know,
He's
like,
in Bikini Bottom.
yeah, like I know, I don't want to sound like mean, but she's so pretty, you know?
She
And then you
is.
look at him and you're just like,
Yeah, I was kind of shocked that, that's the kind of guy she went for.
what?
I'm
Yeah,
not, I should be clear, like, I'm not specifically talking about looks because, of
right,
course, there's more to a person than just their looks. But
right,
it was just very shocking. And maybe it shouldn't be as shocking because she worked so closely with him. For
right.
Wicked, they probably spent so much time together filming.
Yeah. But here's the thing I also did not know. So, the theater community, if you will,
Hmm.
it's the whole environment, I guess, is different, the way things work. So, when we see like an average looking man, whatever, if he's in theater and he is straight, apparently the girl,
Red flag.
uh-huh, that and also that, but apparently he's a huge player. I guess like if he's straight and he's male and he's in the play, every girl's gonna go after him. Every girl wants him. That's what I heard from a theater kid. So I think that's what's because like Ariana's a theater girl.
Yeah, she is.
She's a theater kid, and I think people don't realize that. And so I think she jumped. She has that mentality, like,
Yeah.
oh, he's in theater,
Yeah.
So maybe that's also something we should consider. Obviously, it's wrong at the end of the day, but like when people are like, why him? Why him? Something that we should consider, like
Yeah.
what her mentality was going through, even though it's wrong. But like, why him? you know?
Yeah. He's literally like the outlier.
Yeah,
He's like clearly not the person that would kind of meet those standards
yeah,
in theater. I guess some yes, but some no.
yeah,
So that's really interesting to me too, because I feel like on some level, the person that told you that was onto something
yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
Because he does not like fit some of those stereotypes.
Hmm.
And I feel like people want that in a
Hmm.
relationship. They want people who don't fit that stereotype.
Right,
It's almost like then become fixated on them the more they get to know them.
right.
So maybe that's what happened here.
Yeah,
You just can't help but wonder, right?
yeah,
Oh my gosh.
yeah.
And with that, we're left with so many questions.
Yep.
But I think I'm satisfied and I think I've gotten a lot out of my chest today that I
Yeah.
wanted to on this episode.
Me too. It
And
was
I can't
great.
and I think we should wrap it up here, but I am
Yeah.
so excited for the episodes to come.
Yes.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We really appreciate it. And we look forward to seeing you guys in the next episode.
Yay!
Woohoo! All right, guys, we're signing off. Hope you guys have a great one.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.